Welcome back. Spurs continue to try to reassure fans they aren't going anywhere. Yesterday, they unveiled 3 new logos to solidify that their home is here in San Antonio. Take a look. It's part of the Spurs' 50th anniversary celebration. It will take place this season after moving the Dallas Chaparrals to the Alamo City to become the Spurs back in 1973. The first is the Texas alternate logo, which connects fans across the globe to the heart of the Spurs home. The second, described as shorthand of the city of San Antonio, to highlight our hometown, our region, and our state in just 4 letters. And finally, a basketball badge which adds the local edge to the on-court look. Turning to the Western Conference Finals, Dallas Mavericks on the brink of being swept after the Golden State Warriors were able to steal Game 3 in Dallas Sunday night to take a 3-0 lead in this best-of-7 series. That despite Luka Doncic's 40-point performance that included a buzzer beater at the end of the first quarter to keep the Mavs very much in the game. Steph Curry was Steph Curry, and the Warriors won, just 1 win away from returning to the NBA Finals.
It's going to be difficult, you know. Every game is going to be really difficult. So it's not over yet, but it's not going to be easy. The Warriors not going to give you anything easy. So I think we're going to learn a lot, and we're still learning. But, you got to come 100% every game.
You can't give them second opportunities. When you give them second opportunities, Clay and Steph and Wiggins is playing at a high level for them. And they've been here before, so they understand what they have to do, and they did it, tonight.
Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals tonight at 8 o'clock. And in the East, Boston destroyed Miami last night, 102-82. That series now tied at 2 games apiece.
It's getting interesting. Time now, 4:41 and 72 degrees for now. Tom Cruise is taking to the sky again in the role that put him on the map. A preview of the sequel of Top Gun is in your Hollywood Report.
If you're in the market for a new smart speaker, you don't have to ask Alexa about what's new. Marilyn Moritz has you covered in 12 on your side.
And welcome back. It's 4:44. Zac Brown Band member John Driscoll Hopkins revealed he had been diagnosed with ALS in a video with his bandmates. ABC's Will Reeve has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, telling his story. John Driscoll Hopkins and his bass have toured the world as a founding member of the Grammy-winning Zac Brown Band. But now the talented songwriter faces a new challenge, a diagnosis of ALS. And this morning, he's opening up to Good Morning America.
Why'd you choose to go public with this?
This was the only way for me. I wanted this to be something that I could try to affect change with. It's better to just get after it and hop on a cure as quickly as possible. There's a shot for a lot of people out there.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more of our interview with John Driscoll Hopkins, his hope for the future, and what he wants every fan of Zac Brown Band to know this morning. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
Well, smart speakers, they've made information on just about every topic available at your whim. Sports scores, trivia, anything that has you stumped. They've come a long way since Amazon first came out with the very first Alexa, because I'm not trying to wake up those devices. If you're ready to upgrade to the latest, greatest version, 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz has a little advice.
Alexa, add milk to my shopping list.
Hey Google, what's the weather forecast for today?
Smart speakers have changed a lot since the first Amazon Echo came out in 2014. Now they're smarter and sound better than ever. Sound quality is important if you listen to music on your smart speaker. The second generation Sonos One is among the best sounding speakers in Consumer Reports ratings. It's also compatible with both Amazon's Alexa and Google Assistant. If you'd prefer a smart speaker with a screen, the top performer is the Amazon Echo Show 10. It's handy in the kitchen because you can use voice control instead of your dough-covered hands. But it needs space since the screen uses motion sensing technology to follow you around. Without that space, it could pose a safety hazard.
I put a bottle of cooking oil a little bit too close to it, and when I walked around, the screen actually knocked over the bottle of cooking oil.
If you don't have room to spare, CR suggests the second-generation Amazon Echo Show 8, which has a stationary base. If you prefer a Google smart speaker, there's the Google Nest Audio. Some users find it's easier to use than Alexa, and its sound quality is better than earlier generations. If you're just looking for a smart speaker to listen to a podcast or the weather report, you don't have to spend a lot.
Pretty much every smart speaker works the same. That's because the functionality isn't in the speaker itself. It's actually in the servers that are up in the cloud.
For that, CR suggests the fourth generation Amazon Echo Dot. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
And a quick look at the roads with TransGuide. Looking there at I-35 at New Braunfels Avenue, things are moving. Also at I-35 North at Loop 410.
What are so many people doing up so early?
I think they have to go to work.
I guess
that would
so.
be my guess.
Or just now coming home, right?
From work, maybe.
Hey, just in the time we've been here this morning, kind of getting ready for our morning newscast, Justin, you may agree, disagree, and that's fine too. It's a free country, but it looks like these storms have slowly started to fade or continue to fade out.
They stayed south for the most part. So as we said earlier, this wasn't the kind of rain we hoped for overnight. The morning commute's going to be just fine if you're planning on heading out the door right now. I suppose that's the good news. Roads are dry. But we still have another chance of rain headed our way tonight. So not all hope is lost here. Let's look at the radar right now. We've got showers and storms down there around Corpus Christi, Beeville, Cotulla, but this is pretty much falling apart. And that's where all the light rain is at this hour. We have had a few showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder working their way through southern Broward County a little bit earlier. This is all falling apart too. So it's trying to work its way up towards Seguin, but I don't know if it's going to make it. A few showers limping in there close to I-10. And that's really about all we have at this hour. I will take you east, though. Gonzales, you've got a couple showers headed your way here within the next 5-10 minutes or so. And then out towards Howittsville, we've had a few showers working north towards your area and along Highway 77 there, lifting north and northeast. So a little bit of rain, but it's going to be isolated this morning. We're not looking for that widespread shower and storm shield that we originally thought we may see overnight. There was some good rainfall, though, yesterday in spots. Places like southwestern Dimmitt County picked up an estimated 6 to 7 inches, and then northeastern Karnes County about 2 to 3 inches estimated. Everyone else less than an inch, and certainly here in San Antonio, yes, we did get light rain, but it just didn't add up to a whole lot. So what do we have in store as we get into tonight? And by the way, this is the drought monitor, and that heavy rain did fall in some good spots. So there is that. But what do we have in store for tonight? That's going to be the big question. Right now, we've got 73 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies, south-southeasterly winds at about 7. 70 in Kerrville, 72 in New Braunfels, 72 Pleasanton, 69 in Cotulla, and a lot of 70s here around Bexar County right now with cloudy skies. That big shield of rain still to the south, but this is what we're watching. Frontal boundary right here. That's going to slide south tonight. It will make it through the area. And as it moves in tonight, that's going to give us the lift and focus that we need to get more storms going. Now, the risk of severe storms today is going to be generally to our north, but tonight, I think that risk slides a little bit further to the south. So here's what our forecast looks like. 30% chance of rain through the day today. It'll be isolated, spotty stuff, but if we can get a storm going, there could be a strong one mixed in there. And then by 10 p.m., still about a 30% chance of showers and storms. But in the overnight hours, say midnight to about 4 a.m., rain chances come up to about 70%. This is where we could see some pockets of heavy rain, some strong storms mixed in there. And then by the morning commutes tomorrow, a lot of this is starting to move out. Still some wet roads, though, probably to contend with. Then by midday, just a small chance of rain. And then after that, rain's gone by 5 p.m. tomorrow. And after that, there's a dry forecast ahead. I'll tell you that. As far as rainfall totals, we're still sticking to our 1 to 3 inches. But if we're going to get that, it's all going to come basically tonight. And I think the higher totals you're going to see are going to be north and east of San Antonio. You'll see lower numbers as you go south and west. So our KSAT 12-hour forecast, some chances of showers and storms this morning, and then lower chances by midday. Then we'll be up around 85, 86 for a high, 30% chance of rain during the afternoon, but a 70% chance tonight. So a few severe storms possible with some localized heavy rain. 79 tomorrow will be cooler behind that front, and then 88 and sunny Thursday. And then as we get into Memorial Day weekend and Memorial Day, it looks hot. We could be close to 100 by Sunday with mostly sunny skies.
Wait, what happened?
I know. It's like you just shut off the faucet, right? But that's why this rain, we need it so badly tonight.
Yeah, that was quick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin.
You got it.
4:51, about 72 degrees.
And Tom Cruise isn't letting any grass grow under his feet. The new Top Gun is almost here, and the trailer for the newest installment of Mission Impossible is out. Coming up, we'll show you when it opens.
Well, in case you haven't heard by now, and you probably have, the Top Gun sequel is set to hit theaters this weekend, just in time for Memorial Day. And Kendrick Lamar's new album is sitting on top of the Billboard charts.
Related to what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
We are 2 seconds behind, increased to 480 knots. Happy Top Gun Maverick Week. The sequel of the 1986 Tom Cruise blockbuster almost in theaters after more than a 3-year delay because of the pandemic and other issues.
I think that audience members might walk out of the theater with their legs wobbling a little bit.
Louis Pullman plays one of the new fighter pilots, telling me they went to great lengths to make you believe they were really flying those planes.
What this movie does is it puts you in the cockpit, so you really feel as close as possible to what these Top Gun pilots really do.
Top Gun Maverick opens in some IMAX theaters today, ahead of its official launch this weekend.
You're fighting to save an ideal that doesn't exist.
Meanwhile, if you need more Tom Cruise, here's your first look at Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. But it'll be quite a while before you actually get to see it, July 14th, 2023. Kendrick Lamar steps his way to #1. His new album, Mr. Moral and the Big Steppers, debuts atop the Billboard 200 album chart. Billboard says it had the largest week of combined streams and sales of any album so far this year. Lamar also has 4 songs in the top 10, but the #1 song again on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart is Jack Harlow's First Class. Notching its 3rd week on top.
If not for you, babe, I couldn't find the door.
And it's a new morning and a new year for Bob Dylan, the music legend turning 81 today, while Winning Time star John C. Reilly is 57. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
4:56, about 73 degrees.
And parents may not have to wait much longer to get their babies and preschoolers vaccinated against COVID-19. Coming up, more on the approval process of 2 new vaccines.
Title 42 still in effect, but Governor Abbott says he's going to do more to keep the Texas border secure as migrants continue to arrive. We'll have the details.
And a quick look at the roads with TransGuide. I-35 at Loop 410, things look good there. Also at I-37 at Houston. Stephen Cavazos just walked in the studio. We'll be checking in with him very soon.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Governor Greg Abbott travels to the border and says the state of Texas will implement more measures to secure the border despite Title 42 remaining in effect.
And as COVID cases among children rise, 2 new vaccines are being considered by the FDA. The latest on how soon they could be available.
Showers and storms are lingering here or there, but very hard to find this morning. We'll get an update from Justin coming up in just a moment. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, the 24th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Hope you had a wonderful Monday. It was nice that it smelled like rain, and I saw some rain, but I guess it wasn't as much as we needed.
Yeah, that's true. And Justin is here to kind of paint a picture of the way our morning is shaping up so far.
It's actually pretty quiet out there. We were expecting some showers and storms overnight. Didn't really materialize. A lot of that stayed to our south. So yet again, we've missed out on rain here in San Antonio. We've got one more shot coming up tonight, and I think it's a pretty good chance. But in the meantime, we're just looking at a few showers here and there that have been working northeast through southern parts of Bexar County. And then we have some showers out near Gonzales and also Hallettsville. But any sort of significant rain is down there around Corpus Christi and the valley this morning. And so the morning commute, as far as the weather is concerned, is going to be, I think, fairly dry. Pollen count yesterday, molds jumped up because of the recent rains, 1,900. They're in the high category. Grass is low at 40. And looking at temperatures and what the situation will be this morning, we're sitting at 72 degrees as we look out close to the airport here, actually 410 and I-10. And here are the headlines. Isolated showers and storms today. I think it'll be hit or miss. And it probably won't be terribly busy on the radar, at least during the day today. But as we get into tonight, scattered storms redevelop along the front. Some of these are going to be severe. I think we're going to see some localized rain. And this looks to be a little more focused, a little more concrete with some of these storms coming in tonight. And then storms early tomorrow, then we get clearing. And from there on out, it's a dry forecast. So we do need this rain tonight. Here's a look at the forecast. Just some isolated stuff this morning. 78 degrees by 11 o'clock, 80 degrees by noontime, just a 20% chance of rain. And then during the afternoon, just 30% chance of rain. But we bumped that up to a 70% chance tonight with that front. And it will cool down tomorrow. Highs potentially only in the 70s on your Wednesday. We'll talk more about this rainfall, the chances that are there. That's coming up in just a couple minutes. But it is a dry commute this morning, Stephen. Are you seeing any issues?
No issues just yet, Justin. Thank you. And, you know, whether you're heading home from work or maybe heading to work or maybe you need an early drive just to clear the mind, let's take that drive around town and see what you can expect right now. 1604 Petrenko. Very quiet there, but elsewhere we saw just a few vehicles out earlier in the morning. Mark was mentioning that we saw some vehicles a little bit more than usual there. 410 at Ray Ellison looking a little busy this morning. But just remember to take it slow out on the roads. It's always the best way to go. Taking you right to the map, we've not spotted major issues just yet, but we know that there's still some road work taking place. We're going to get to that a little bit later on in this newscast, but you can see right there on the map, we aren't picking up any problems just yet. So again, those roads, you'll essentially have them to yourself, but just remember to be safe out there. Let's take a look at those travel times if your destination is San Antonio, because right now things are pretty much green across the board. Journey from Birdie, about a 25-minute drive time right now on I-10 if you're heading in those eastbound lanes. Now we are seeing somewhat of a slowdown, 28 minutes. It's in the yellow if you're heading in from 281 and Bulverde. So just remember that you are going to be seeing experience somewhat of a slowdown, and a 26-minute drive time on I-35 southbound heading in from New Braunfels. So right now we are in great shape, especially as we take one last look here at the roadways. We'll continue to keep a close eye on things and talk about some construction that's taking place coming up a little bit later on. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen. The U.S. and Mexico were bracing for the end of Title 42 yesterday, but a federal judge is keeping it in place as the Justice Department tries to appeal.
It's been a hot topic for discussion for weeks as migrants continue to make their way to the border despite the ruling. Governor Greg Abbott visited the border town of Eagle Pass yesterday. Alicia Beretta was also there and spoke to residents.
It's the shallow sectors of the Rio Grande that worry Maverick County residents like Alejandra Medina.
And they're crossing walking. So big groups of more than 100 people have been seen. The thing that concerns me is small kids.
She lives near Quemado, a small town about 20 miles northwest of Eagle Pass, where the governor toured today. Medina believes more patrols may deter large groups of people from passing through her property. In areas like these, once they cross their river, they can either force their way through this razor fence or find gaps like this one. But Governor Greg Abbott has vowed to fill areas like these as well.
Our goal is to make sure that we have that concertina wire in every inch of the border. The only place that we would be prohibited from putting it would be where federal land may be located, or if there's private property where a private property owner does not want it.
More measures are expected to be implemented in the coming weeks, including trespassing signs and boats to navigate shallow waters. Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
And the search continues for the gunman who shot and killed a man on the subway in New York City. The victim was a researcher at Goldman Sachs. The chairman and the CEO of the company said the company is devastated by this senseless tragedy. According to police sources, authorities have identified a person of interest and say he has a violent criminal history. It is being reported the suspect handed the gun to a homeless man, but it was recovered and is currently being tested for DNA evidence.
Executive Committee for the Southern Baptist Convention is set to meet today to address the report that the religious denomination mishandled allegations of sexual abuse for the past 2 decades. The independent investigation commissioned by the SBC last year after survivors of abuse contacted the Executive Committee about child molestation and other abuse allegations against people employed by the church. The panel combed through documents and interviewed hundreds of current and former staff, trustees, witnesses, and sexual abuse survivors. They found that since 2000, leaders have stonewalled and intimidated victims. A major step forward to protect children from COVID. Pfizer just announced its 3-dose vaccine is strong and effective against the virus for children younger than 5 years old.
The FDA is now preparing to consider this new pediatric vaccine as well as Moderna's in a matter of weeks. It comes as new COVID-19 cases are up, daily infections quadrupling since the start of April. ABC's M. Nguyen has more from Washington.
This morning, parents anxious to vaccinate their babies and preschoolers may not have to wait much longer. Good girl. Pfizer says for children under 5, its 3-shot vaccine is 80% effective against symptomatic COVID-19. It's also just a tenth of the dose for those 12 and older.
That'll be up to the FDA in June to determine if this antibody response is sufficient enough to protect against severe illness and hospitalization.
On top of reviewing Pfizer's vaccine for America's youngest in mid-June, the FDA is also considering Moderna's vaccine for children under 6 years old. For now, Moderna is still testing a 3rd shot after data shows 2 shots for kids under 6 had an efficacy of just 51% or less. For some parents, an authorized vaccine can't come soon enough. This mom enrolling her 2 kids in the Pfizer trial.
If they had the placebo, they'll immediately get the treatment shot. I know many parents of children under 5 that are just really drained and exhausted and feel alone in this process of having to determine what is safe for their family.
It comes as nearly every state is seeing a rise in new infections and hospitalizations. For children, more than 107,000 tested positive for COVID last week, the highest since February. Now, Philadelphia schools and California's Berkeley Unified School District are reinstating their mask mandates.
As the cases were rising, I figured the school probably will do something.
Parents could see shots in arms for kids under 5 as soon as the end of June if the CDC and FDA sign off. Now, the CDC is again recommending everyone wear masks indoors. Emlyn, ABC News, Washington.
Today is Election Day for the runoffs for the Texas primaries. Bexar County voters set to decide a number of races, including who will run as the Democratic candidate for Bexar County judge. State Rep Ina Minhada is going head-to-head with former District Court Judge Peter Sakai. The winner will take on former County Commissioner Trish DeBerry. Polls open this morning at 7 and close at 7 p.m. Then tune in to the Night Beat for the latest results.
And time now, 5:08 and 72 degrees for now.
Still ahead, Instagram getting a visual refresh. We'll explain what's new in Tech Bites.
Up next, the FDA is putting out a warning about a popular hack some people are using to preserve their avocados. Why? The agency says you could be putting yourself at risk.
Outside with live cam, tons of available humidity. I mean, more than enough to share, that's for sure. Storms still in the forecast? We'll check in with Justin coming up.
In your morning consumer headlines, Starbucks is getting out of Russia in response to the Kremlin's unprovoked attack of neighboring Ukraine. The coffee giant released a statement yesterday saying it will no longer have a brand presence in Russia. It has been operating locations in the country for 15 years and had 130 licensed cafes. Officials say they will support the roughly 2,000 Starbucks workers in Russia by providing pay for 6 months as well as help with a transition to other jobs.
Food and Drug Administration warning against a popular food hack on TikTok to preserve avocados. The hack involves storing whole avocados in a bottle of water in the fridge, which users claim can keep the fruit fresh for weeks. However, the FDA says the tactic can harbor bacteria, including salmonella. So the FDA is warning against trying this viral hack. What the heck?
It's weird.
Never heard that one.
No, I haven't either.
Don't try this at home.
Time now, 5:13 and 72 degrees for now.
Still to come, the first teaser trailer is out for Moonage Daydream. I hope I'm saying that right. A look at the musical journey of the late David Bowie.
And Google Assistant is now available on the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4. The details are coming up in today's Tech Bites.
Who do you think you are? Canceling plans? Commanding a room? Being your own biggest fan? Who said you could do that? Say no to settling. No to compromising. Yes to getting all of the above. Who? No, really. Tell us. Who do you think you are? Oh, you're you. And TJ Maxx is where you can afford to be you to the max.
What could one strand of mRNA do? It could change the future of medicine. It could change the lives of millions. See what mRNA could do. Moderna, this changes everything.
New Densify from Crest Pro Health.
You know, like bones, your teeth lose density over time.
Really?
Here, use this. Crest Densify rebuilds tooth density to extend the life of teeth.
Good thing I married a dentist, huh?
Crest, the #1 toothpaste brand in America.
In today's Tech Bites, Instagram's branding gets a new look. Its slightly tweaked and brighter new logo and typeface, along with full marketing screen layouts, are supposed to help create, quote, more immersive and inclusive experiences. Users can choose from several different fonts as well. TikTok is launching a new program this week that will allow creators to generate recurring revenue. Viewers can pay to subscribe to specific live streams, similar to how it's done on rival sites like Twitch. Fans will have access to subscriber-only chats, custom emotes, badges, and other perks. And Google Assistant is now available on Samsung's Galaxy Watch 4. Users will have access to Google Pay, Maps, and YouTube. The update comes just weeks after Samsung said support would arrive by summer. I've been meaning to get a smartwatch, but can never seem to find the time. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Send
cute.
Andrew a razor as soon as possible. Just playing. 5:17 right now.
Sporting a new look. Let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos for now.
You know, that's how I look during No Shave November. Well, how I would like to look, ideally. All I could do is the stash, guys. But, you know, we
It
try.
works.
Yeah. Well, okay. Thank you, Steph. Let's get a look at the roadways right now. Things seem to be clear out here. We're taking a look around town. 281 at Basse. That camera's broken. We know the sun's not out just yet. But as we take another jump there, 35 at New Braunfels, things have been shaping up to look nice as we are driving off into this Tuesday morning, but always remain alert. Although this map is not picking up any issues, you see that there's plenty of those construction zones that are out there. So let's talk about what's happening right here at Loop 1604 on the northeast side of San Antonio. This is the latest one. It starts today, some drilling work, but that's going to be current up until tomorrow. But drivers, keep in mind that will start around 9 in the morning and last until 5 in the afternoon. Typically, we start to see crews get out there just before 9, so we'll likely start to see somewhat of a slowdown as the morning does roll on. But there will be various eastbound and westbound main lane closures, including the frontage roads out there from Kitty Hawk to Pat Booker. So grab those phones and open the camera app. Scan this QR code. That's going to take you directly to the KSAT traffic page. And of course, that will have the latest on anything that could impact that drive time. That also includes some of the closures that have been updated as of yesterday. So all of this is current. And of course, we'll always be keeping an eye on the roads right here in the traffic lab, but make sure to do the same.
All right, we're going to head out to Eagle Pass, a place that did get some good rain yesterday. Take a look at this video. Shows rainbow there in the distance, some heavy rain coming down, at least in spots. A place that certainly needed the rain, some dark clouds there off in the distance. And there were some hit or miss pockets of heavy rain yesterday. We just did not get it here in San Antonio overnight, unfortunately. But we appreciate the video, as always, out of Eagle Pass this morning. Let's look at the radar right now. There is some activity there, but not as much as we'd like. We see some showers that have worked their way through Howitzville. We had a few showers earlier work their way through southern parts of Barrett County. Those have since fallen apart. And so it's a pretty quiet morning as far as the morning commute is concerned weather-wise. There are some showers and storms as you get down towards Corpus Christi and then further south into the valley. Don't worry, though. We have another chance, one more chance to get some rain and some heavier rain, and that's coming up a little bit later tonight. Here's the scene outside. We've got cloudy to mostly cloudy skies, 73 degrees. Dew point is at 69. East-northeasterly winds at about 8 miles per hour. And temperatures in the 60s and 70s. 69 Kerrville, 72 Pleasanton, 73 in New Braunfels, 71 in Helotes, and 70 up there in Bulverde with a few clouds there. We talked about the rain across deep South Texas. Still there, some pockets of heavy rain down there in the valley. And then we take you to North Texas, where there is more heavy rain this morning. Severe weather yesterday. In fact, a few reports of tornadoes across the Texas Panhandle yesterday evening. This is along a cold front, which will move into our area tonight. I think that's going to focus the showers and storms for us tonight. And that should bring a chance for some stronger storms, too. This area is shaded in pink is where we're expecting scattered severe storms today. Does not include San Antonio at the moment, but I think as we get into tonight, that severe risk does shift south with this front, and it'll be moving in again during the overnight hours. So let's time it out for you here. This is one of our computer models, and I know they didn't do great yesterday, but here's what we're thinking. 30% chance of some isolated showers and storms around 5 o'clock today. And then tonight, around 10 o'clock, still holding a 30% chance. But as we get into the overnight hours, here comes some of that heavier rain along the front. 70% chance of storms, some of which could be strong. Gusty winds going to be our main threat, but there could be some hail mixed in there too. And then by tomorrow morning, rain is starting to shift out. We're still going to keep a chance of rain in there. And then by midday, the rain is really moving southeast. And after that, we are done with the rain all the way into the weekend. So we do need some decent numbers, I think, overnight. And there is a chance for that, about 1 to 3 inches on average. We're still going to stick to that with tonight's storms. As you go west, though, the numbers will fall off some. Less than an inch potentially in places like Del Rio and Eagle Pass. KSAT 12-hour forecast. Just a small chance of showers or storms through midday. We'll get up to 80 degrees by noontime, and then look for some sun, at least a little bit of sun this afternoon, with a 30% chance of some showers and storms. 86 your high temperature, and then tonight there's your 70% chance of rain with some severe weather possible. Northeasterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. 79 tomorrow, just some morning activity, but cooler behind the front, and then it warms up. Thursday morning's going to be nice, down to 59, but we're up to 88 Thursday, 91 Friday, and then mid to upper 90s by the weekend. So we're going to hold out hope for tonight. It's looking a little better as far as our confidence, but we'll certainly keep you posted throughout the day.
All right. Hopefully we get what we need.
Yes.
Thanks, Justin.
522, about 72 degrees.
And coming up, a look at the new film about the king of rock and roll, Elvis. We have a preview in your Hollywood Report. Hi, welcome back. It's 5:25. Hollywood has served up a trailer buffet, including 2 films about very different music legends and the latest installment in a franchise that constantly pushes the limits.
CNN's David Daniel has the roundup in today's Hollywood Minute.
You're fighting to save an ideal that doesn't exist. Never did. You need to pick a side.
Tom Cruise and his IMF team return in the first trailer for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. The 7th and penultimate film in the blockbuster action series is due in theaters July 14th, 2023, with Part 2, the series finale, set to drop in June 28th, 2024.
In that moment, Elvis the man was sacrificed, and Elvis the God was born.
Here's your latest look at Austin Butler as the king of rock and roll in Elvis. Tom Hanks also stars in Baz Luhrmann's Elvis Presley epic, which starts Taking Care of Business in theaters June 24th.
All people, no matter who they are, all wish they'd appreciated life more. It's what you do in life that's important, not how much time you have, or what you wish you'd done.
The first teaser trailer is out for Moon Age Daydream, billed as a cinematic odyssey exploring David Bowie's creative and musical journey. The first film sanctioned by the Bowie estate is due out in IMAX and other theaters in September. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
527, about 72 degrees.
In the next half hour, GMSA concerned about the rare outbreak of monkeypox when other suspected or confirmed cases are now being reported.
As the country prepares to honor fallen heroes, a Texas organization asking for additional help to make sure fallen veterans at San Antonio's Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery are remembered for their sacrifice.
And 2 masked suspects burst through the door of an apartment on the far west side and starting shooting before taking off. Katrina Weber is live at the scene with the details, including if anyone was hit by that gunfire.
Do you have student loan debt? If so, you're not alone. Ahead on GMSA at 6, we've got some clever ways you can help pay off your debts faster. The number of monkeypox cases rising in the U.S. Officials in Washington state announced the latest to announce they're treating someone with a suspected case of the disease.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we're at 72 degrees, expecting some more showers today.
We sure hope so. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, May 24th.
Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. It definitely smelled like rain, looked like rain. Some people got a little bit of rain.
Oh, yeah, I was grilling last night, Justin, and the lightning and thunder were all around me, but nearby.
Yeah, there were some storms there. We didn't get the big complex overnight that we were expecting, but at least we did get some rain yesterday. It was generally a light rain. The numbers weren't huge here in San Antonio. Brought temperatures down a little bit. And as we look at the radar this morning, it's all been south of us. It's just where all the energy, all those little pieces of energy, they work to the south of San Antonio. So by and large, we missed out again. We have one more chance tonight. We feel pretty good about it. There will be more storms coming in along a cold front during the overnight hours. We could see some strong storms, some pockets of heavy rain once again. So here are rain chances, and really it's tonight that we're kind of pinning our hopes here. 70% chance looks likely with showers and storms moving in, I'd say around midnight, lasting through potentially the morning commute tomorrow. And then after that, it is dry. So we do need this rain. And as we look at the setup, here's why we think that the rain chances are good tonight. This cold front slides south, and it should be here during the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning. There will be scattered severe storms along the front as it works through Texas today, and we'll see a complex develop and push south and east into the overnight hours. In the meantime, fairly quiet at the moment. 73 degrees at the airport, 69 Kerrville, 72 in New Braunfels, 71 Hondo, 69 Rio Medina, 67 right now in Devon. In your KSAT 12-hour forecast, just some small chances of rain this morning. Clouds off and on today, 20% chance of rain noontime, 80 degrees. Can't rule out some thunderstorms this afternoon, some isolated thunderstorms. But again, the bigger show arrives tonight. Your high temperature today, right around 86 degrees. Let's check in with Stephen now, your traffic authority. How are things looking?
Hey, thanks, Justin. Well, looks like we may have an issue here off 410 at Callahan. Let's get that wide look at TransGuide, show you what we are seeing here and picking up. This appears to be a stalled vehicle, according to KSAT. Actually, that's what they're reporting. It's off in the shoulder lane, and you can see we do have what appears to be a KSAT Hero truck out there. Now, again, this is out in the shoulder lane, so we have to make sure if you're driving by in this area that you move over, slow down, give that first responder plenty of room to help that driver out. Not sure how long it's going to be there, but let's see if it's really impacting traffic. And thankfully, in those eastbound lanes of Loop 410 where it was reported, it looks fine, but it's there at Callahan Road. So drivers, something to be aware of as you are heading out the door. Let's get that wide view of the metro area at 533. You can see no other issues to talk about just yet, just a lot of construction zones, and that's what we're really going to be breaking down this morning. And thankfully, we are looking at a dry commute for this Tuesday, but we do want you to stay alert and always stay prepared. Thankfully, if you are traveling into San Antonio from any of these neighboring communities, you're in luck. We are just about green across the board there. 29 minutes coming in from Seguin on I-10 westbound, 22 minutes if you're heading in 87 coming in from Lavernia. And right now that drive time, if you're for our friends down in Floresville, a 28-minute drive time. So again, looking like we're in great shape there. And as we take one last look, hopefully the next time I talk to you guys, we'll have this cleared out and be able to talk about what we're seeing out on the roadways. That'll be coming up a little bit later on in this newscast. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen. We have some breaking news to tell you about. Firefighters called out to an upholstery shop fire in the 5,000 block of Blanco Road. That's just north of Basse. Details are limited, but we are told crews were able to knock down the fire pretty quickly. The cause is under investigation. We will continue to follow this story and bring you an update on air and online.
San Antonio police are searching a West Side neighborhood for two men responsible for a robbery and stabbing. It happened at a home in the 3800 block of Morales Street. Katrina Weber is there with a live report. And Katrina, we understand there is more than one victim.
Well, that's correct. Police tell us two men were stabbed or cut, actually, during what was supposed to be a robbery here. Now, police, we still have a couple in the area out of camera shot, but they were all outside this home right here at the corner of Morales and Northwest 26th Street. And police say this is where this happened just before 5 o'clock this morning. They say that two men jumped the fence to this house and then stabbed two other men, cutting one of them on his hand, the other one on the back of his neck, his arm, and possibly his upper body. Those two victims taken to a hospital. Police have been searching this area for the people who were responsible for that. And again, they were all gathered out here just within the last 2 minutes. They dispersed, and they are still searching for those people responsible for the robbery and the cutting. Neither of the victims suffered any life-threatening injuries, but again, they did have to go to the hospital. Police are continuing to investigate this, looking for two people responsible for the robbery and cuttings here this morning. Reporting live on the West Side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Also new this morning, one man is in the hospital this morning after a separate shooting on the city's southwest side. This one happened around 12:30 this morning at a home on Five Palms Drive, not far from Old Pearsall Road and Loop 410. That's where police say a man in his 20s was standing in his front yard when someone driving a white sedan drove by and shot that man in his leg. He is now in the hospital and is expected to recover. Police are still looking for the shooter.
12 vehicles burglarized at least one home as well. It's what landed 5 people in police custody up in Bernie. Clyde Saunders, a would-be victim, told KSAT the suspects tried to get into his vehicle early yesterday morning. He says they weren't able to get in, but his surveillance camera got them trying, so he used it to tip off Bernie police.
I looked on the camera and saw somebody trying to get in the vehicle, but it was locked.
When officers arrived, the suspects were still there. Bernie police say they were actually in a stolen car. The driver rammed one police unit while trying to leave, injuring the officer who had some cuts. Suspects got out of the car and ran. 3 people were arrested immediately. 2 more were arrested later. In addition to the stolen car, officers also recovered stolen property inside.
And a man was found bleeding in the middle of a neighborhood yesterday afternoon. This happened on the city's northwest side on Cedar Knoll. Bexar County deputies say the man was shot in the hip, but he refused to cooperate. Investigators are hoping that surveillance video or witnesses can help solve this mystery.
Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolf providing an update after his COVID-19 diagnosis. Wolf taking to Facebook yesterday, thank everyone for well wishes. He says he's, quote, feeling better and looking forward to getting back to work in a few more days, end quote. Police Chief William McManus also dealing with COVID-19. Last week, he said he was dealing with mild symptoms. Now to the growing concern about the rare outbreak of monkeypox. Suspected or confirmed cases now reported in at least 5 states.
And this morning, one expert says the outbreak could be linked to sexual activity at 2 parties held in Europe. ABC's Nguyen has the details.
Doctors in Washington state are the latest to announce they're treating a patient with a suspected case of monkeypox, bringing the number of states investigating cases to 5. There's one confirmed case in Massachusetts, and overnight, health officials near Seattle announced the country's 6th presumptive case, a man who recently traveled to a country where monkeypox cases have been identified. In South Florida, doctors are investigating 2 presumptive cases. Both patients also recently traveled internationally.
The people who are in contact with that person, know about it.
The virus, typically only seen in Africa, is spreading with more than 200 confirmed or suspected cases in 18 countries. Doctors say it's spread by coming into close contact with lesions, bodily fluid, or respiratory droplets. The flu-like symptoms lead to rashes on the body with a recovery time of 2 to 3 weeks. The CDC is raising awareness in the LGBTQ+ community because many of the cases worldwide involve men identifying as gay or bisexual. An advisor to the World Health Organization tells the Associated Press the leading theory to explain the outbreak is sexual transmission at rave parties in Spain and Belgium.
I don't think that there's a great risk to the general community from monkeypox right now in the United States. I think that we need to pay close attention to the communities in which this might be circulating.
The U.S. government is now releasing some monkeypox vaccines from the national stockpile. The CDC says those vaccines will be for a small number of people who have been exposed. It says there is no need to vaccinate the general public.
Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
In your morning headlines, a new U.S. Supreme Court decision makes it more difficult for prisoners to argue they had ineffective counsel. Justices ruled that state prisoners may not present new evidence in federal court to support a claim their post-conviction counsel in state court was ineffective. The ruling is a major defeat for 2 death row inmates who say they had compelling claims that their state lawyers failed to pursue. It will also make it harder for inmates across the nation to prevail on claims they got ineffective counsel at the state court level in post-conviction proceedings. The 3 liberal justices dissented in the 6-3 opinion. In a stinging dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor called the decision perverse and that it gutted precedent.
And time now, 5:40 and 72 degrees for now.
Still ahead, what's in store on the roadways as 34 million Americans are expected to travel this upcoming Memorial Day holiday weekend.
And a Memorial Day tradition here in Military City, USA could use your help. We're going to tell you how you can help our fallen vets at Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery.
And we still need some help in the rainfall department. We'll see if Mother Nature will cooperate today. Justin's full forecast and a check of traffic with Stephen coming up. Welcome back, 543. It's a tradition many here in Military City, USA are very familiar with, seeing rows of U.S. flags out at Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery for Memorial Day.
The pandemic put that tradition on pause, but now one nonprofit is hoping to carry it on. The group is called Flags for Fallen Vets, and it was established back in 2012 in North Texas. It is now helping 11 national cemeteries with this Memorial Day tradition. This year will be the first time, though, that the group will help Military City, USA at Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery. They already have 3,000 volunteers signed up.
So those spots have been filled, but there's still a need for volunteers to help pick up flags. The group still needs about 200 people for pickup. They're also in need of wooden pallets to help dry the flags. If you'd like to sign up to help, just visit flagsforfallenvets.com. You can also help by making a donation online.
And time now, 5:44 and 72 degrees for now.
Well, next we're taking a look at Memorial Day travel for this year. Is this the most expensive it's ever been?
And welcome back. It's 5:47 now to the upcoming Memorial Day holiday and what's in store as 34 million Americans hit the road for the year's first warm weather getaway. The holiday, the unofficial start of the summer, but there is one obstacle: spiking gas prices.
The average price right now, right about $4.60 a gallon. ABC's Gio Benitez has more.
Memorial Day weekend is gearing up to be one of the busiest since the pandemic began. AAA says more than 34 million people will hit the roads over the upcoming holiday, nearing pre-pandemic levels.
Major arteries going in and out of some of the larger cities are really going to be the ones that have the most traffic. And I think what you want to do is avoid the peak times, which are in the middle of the afternoon.
With gas prices soaring over $4 a gallon in most states, experts say it's important to have your car serviced. It could end up saving you some cash.
If your tire pressures are slightly underinflated, you could lose about 5% of your gas mileage.
And if you're renting a car, expect prices to be high. Online travel booking platform Hopper says rentals over the holiday are averaging $61 a day.
If you haven't booked your rental car yet, you might want to check out some of the smaller airports where you might be able to get more availability and better deals.
You could potentially save money by going electric. While the cost to rent an EV can be higher than a gas car, you may save money by skipping the pump.
And that was Gio Benitez reporting.
And let's go ahead and check in with Stephen to see how the roads are looking here for now.
Well, things have been shaping up to look just fine. Normal as usual as 410 at McCullough. Traffic gets moving for this Tuesday morning. Haven't spotted issues in this area, but we are still seeing that stall that's been out there for quite a while. Let's go ahead and bring it in. That's actually here off of 410 near Callahan. Now, that's in the eastbound lanes. Did check the TransGuide cameras, and we are still seeing those flashing lights out there. So just make sure to check your vehicles before you get out on the roadways, and always make sure to move over or slow down for those first responders. We have a new stall we're adding to our list here off Loop 1604 there in those eastbound lanes near Stone Oak Parkway. This stall not causing any issues, but drivers keep in mind TransGuide cameras aren't able to pick up the conditions in this spot because they're not there. So we'll have to just watch it closely and see how it's going to be impacting the lanes as the morning does go on. But also make sure you plan your commute here happening off Loop 337 in Comal County. We have a metal beam and guard fence installations. Now this started yesterday, but this should be wrapping up later today. That starts at 7 in the morning and will finish around 5 in the afternoon. Drivers, that's when you can expect a single northbound main lane closure right there at River Road. So just make sure to plan your commute and always make sure to give those fellow drivers plenty of room. We'll continue to watch the roads closely, but for now, let's check in with Justin Horn.
Stephen, thank you. Those roads are dry. We didn't get any of those heavy rains that we had hoped for overnight. There were some spots that got some heavy rain yesterday. Places like southwestern Dimmitt County, 6 to 7 inches, at least estimated. That's a good number. That's the area that's been in a pretty extreme drought. Pearsall, Cotulla, Pleasanton, Lytle, all picking up some rain yesterday. We did get some light showers here in San Antonio. It just did not add up to much. And I know we need more than that. There are more chances coming up tonight. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up here in just a second. First, let's go back to 6 o'clock last night. There was some light rain falling across the city during the overnight hours. Just mostly cloudy. Temperatures right now sitting in the low 70s. 73 degrees at the airport. East-northeasterly winds at about 8. Dew point is at 69. Live radar isn't giving us much. We had some showers earlier in southern Bexar County. Some of those moved up towards the Lavernia area. Had some showers out around Howitzville as well, but these have all dissipated. And now we're left with fairly quiet conditions, and I expect that most of the morning is going to be quiet. It's not until the afternoon that we'll start to see some isolated showers and storms popping back up. 69 degrees Kerrville, 71 Hondo, 69 right now in Pleasanton, 70s for most of Bexar County, 70 in Bulverde, 72 out there in New Braunfels. You go down into deep South Texas, there's some pretty good rain this morning, some heavy rain. In fact, Corpus Christi down towards, well, just north of Brownsville, seeing some of those showers and storms persisting, those starting to move off into the Gulf of Mexico. So then we turn our attention to what's going on up here to our north. Area of low pressure developing. We've got a frontal boundary that's stretching out from Lubbock close to Albuquerque this morning. That front will dip south, and that's what's going to provide us the lift that we need tonight for more showers and storms. So let's look at the severe risk today. In this area you see in dark pink is where it's the favored area for severe weather. But I think as we get into tonight, you may see this shift south a little bit more. This is during the day today where we're expecting severe weather, and that does include parts of the hill country. So here's a look at the forecast. This is the setup this morning. By, say, 5 o'clock this evening, that front is advancing south. There's storms along the front. Then out ahead of it, some isolated storms will be possible. We'll put it in a 30% chance of rain. As the front gets a little bit closer by 10 o'clock, we're seeing those storms starting to pull into the hill country. This is where we could see some severe weather right along the front. Also some pockets of heavy rain. We're still keeping on a 30% chance of rain here in San Antonio. By tonight, though, overnight hours, midnight to 3, 4, 5 a.m., showers and storms look to be a pretty good bet along the front, 70% chance. And then by tomorrow morning for the commute, the showers and storms starting to shift out. By midday, rain's pretty much gone, and then we say goodbye to rain chances for really the rest of the forecast going into the weekend. It heats up. How much rain? We've been talking about 1 to 3 inches through Wednesday evening, and we're going to stick to that for now. I still think we're going to get some pockets of heavy rain tonight. The best chance for good rainfall totals will be to our north and east, lower numbers down to our south and west. So your KSAT 12-hour forecast, just some small chances this morning, even into the afternoon. Again, just a 30% chance. We top out at 86 degrees. But tonight there's that 70% chance of rain with a few strong to severe storms possible. Here's the extended forecast. We'll go 79 tomorrow, storms early and then clearing late. 88 Thursday after starting off at 59, and then 90s from there on out. Mid-90s, in fact, over the weekend.
Back to the 90s.
Back to the 90s. This is our one chance.
Thanks, Justin.
Yep.
5:53, about 72 degrees on your Tuesday morning.
And still ahead, the Queen makes a public appearance at one of her favorite events.
Here are your lottery numbers this morning. Pick 3, 944, Fireball 6. Your daily 4 numbers, 1130, Fireball 1.
Cash 5, 2, 8, 9, 11, 23. And your Texas 2-step, 12, 19, 30, 32, bonus ball 30. And your Powerball numbers, 1, 33, 37, 39, 42, Powerball 26, Power Play 2. Good luck.
Britain's Queen Elizabeth was out and about yesterday touring London's iconic Chelsea Flower Show. The monarch met with gardeners and admired the many different displays and flowers on exhibit at the world-renowned horticultural extravaganza. The Queen touring the event in her special royal household buggy. She also admired a special display featuring lilies of the valley, which had been put in 70 pots to mark her platinum jubilee this year. The Queen has previously stated that lily of the valley is her favorite flower. Glad you're with us on this Tuesday morning. Still to come on GMSA. Did you watch Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final last night? The Heat and Celtics starting to make things very interesting. We'll have a recap of Boston's win. And TransSky, flashing lights 37 at Salado Creek. Steven Cavazos is on it, and we'll get an update on your Tuesday forecast with Justin Horn. This morning, 2 masked suspects forced their way into a man's apartment and start shooting. We'll tell you everything we know so far.
I'm ABC's Emlyn in Washington. COVID-19 cases are rising across the country, and pediatric cases are no exception. The details coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, you can see our dirty camera there. We got some rain yesterday, but we're hoping for some more.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And a good morning to you. It is straight up 6 o'clock on your Tuesday, May 24th.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a wonderful Monday. It was exciting to, see the clouds and smell the rain. And some people got rain.
Yeah, I saw storms last night as I was outside grilling and some flashes of lightning early this morning.
Some light rain around the area was not significant, though. Not the kind of numbers we were looking for. And the rain overnight just didn't materialize. It's all been south of us. So we're going to pin our hopes to what is coming tonight. We have a pretty good shot at rain yet again with a frontal boundary this time. Looks like we should get some showers and storms overnight. In the meantime, there is not much out there on radar. We had a couple showers earlier. Those have since dissipated, so the morning commute is dry. Nothing to worry about there. Here's what you need to know going forward. We're expecting isolated showers and storms a little bit later this afternoon. This will be just some pop-up stuff, 30% chance of rain. As we get into tonight, though, that's when the radar becomes far more active. Could see some severe weather, could be some pockets of heavy rain. And then as we get into tomorrow, storms early, and then we'll see clearing skies. And after that, the rain goes away. Rain chances really are, well, they're gone after tomorrow morning. Pollen count, molds are in the high category, 1900, grasses low at 40. This was yesterday's count. I suspect that molds will still probably stay elevated for today. We'll get that new pollen count in for you in a couple hours here. KSAT 12-hour forecast, 70 degrees by 8 o'clock, just a 20% chance of rain. I don't think we see much through the noon hour, 80 degrees. We'll start to bring up rain chances a little bit this afternoon, 30% through 5 o'clock, 86 your high temperature, and then those better chances of rain coming up tonight. More on that in just a bit. Well, let's talk morning commute now. If you're heading out the door, what can we expect, Stephen?
Justin, Tuesday traffic has been riddled with stalls. We've been seeing a few of them. This is the latest one that appears to be popping up here off 37 there at Salado Creek. I'll sit back a little bit and you can see that's there off in the shoulder lane. Now, this has not been reported yet by TxDOT, but we're just reporting what we're seeing here. And again, that is off in the shoulder lane. Someone that could be having some of that car trouble out there, but that has been the trending problem this morning. Let's take you right to the map. We do have some good news, though. Let's just check in the corner of my eyes. We bring you in here to 410. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown there off of those eastbound lanes near Callahan Road. But again, I caught the corner of my eye there. It does appear that stalled vehicle near Callahan has been cleared. So we may just be seeing traffic that is moving at a slow pace. So just remember just to always take it slow out there. We also still have this stall, though, off of 1604 in those eastbound lanes. It's not far at Stone Oak Parkway. But make sure you check your vehicles. And as always, just move over, slow down. Thankfully, these inbound times right here are pretty much green across the board. Pleasant Drive from Pleasanton with a 28-minute drive time. If you're heading on I-37 in those northbound lanes, Highway 90, 19 minutes coming in from Castroville, and we're looking at 16 minutes coming in from Lytle there on I-35 northbound. So no trouble there. And as we get one last look, we still have that stall again, 37 at Salado Creek. We'll be watching it closely and have more updates coming up in the next few minutes. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. Now to late-breaking news. Two men who were rushed to a hospital are already getting a visit from San Antonio police. Officers are trying to learn more about the people who attacked them.
Both of the victims suffered cuts at a home on the west side in the 3800 block of Morales. Katrina Weber is there with a live report. Katrina, what have police told you about the attackers?
Well, unfortunately, they said they didn't have a whole lot of information when we spoke to them. Now, this was just within the last half hour. They were here investigating, also searching the neighborhood. They just know that there were two men who climbed the backyard fence of this home behind me and then attacked two men who were already at the home. Let me give you a look at the video to show you how the scene looked when they were here. Police, again, did search this neighborhood based on a vague description that they had of those attackers, but they came up empty-handed. They say that the victims were on the property of this house. We don't know yet whether they were inside or outside when they were attacked, but two strangers came along, jumped the fence, did cut both of those victims. One of them cut on the hand, the other one cut on his arm, the back of his neck, and possibly also his side. The victims were rushed to a hospital. Both of them suffered non-life-threatening injuries, but police do want to catch the people who they say stabbed them or cut them and also were trying to rob them. And again, police did not know yet what was taken from the victims, but they do have this as a robbery and stabbing case. Reporting live on the west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. A terrifying scene in West Bexar County after a home invasion turns into a shooting. This happened around 2:30 this morning at the Exeter Place Apartments, not far from Petranka Road and Loop 1604. That's where the Bexar County Sheriff's Office reports that two people wearing masks kicked in the door to one of the apartment units. Once they were inside, they started shooting, hitting a man in the torso. He's in the hospital this morning, and we are told he's doing okay. At this time, no arrests have been made.
Cleanup underway this morning after a fire at a strip mall on the northwest side of town. It happened around 9:30 last night in a shed behind the Kebab Land restaurant near Wurzbach and Evers. Crews were able to keep the flames from spreading to other nearby businesses. No one was hurt in the fire. It's still unclear what sparked the flames.
And we are expecting some rain this week, which is leaving some people worried about possible flooding. The Lazy Acres mobile home park on the southwest side is prone to flooding. So that video you just saw was from last July, and it shows how bad it can get. People living there say they're ready to get up and go if the water levels start to rise, especially towards the front of the mobile home park.
The only problem I can see is up front, because there's nowhere the water go, and it just stays there. There's no drainage around here.
And last night, our team called and emailed the District 4 Councilwoman to see what resources are available to help this community with the problem. We are still waiting to hear back.
New details this morning after an Edwards County grand jury indicted a county constable for leaving the scene of a crash. Officers arrested 56-year-old John Maxwell earlier this month, almost 6 months after the crash. The indictment says Maxwell did not give his information to the other driver before taking off. The other driver's car had more than $200 in damage. Maxwell is now on administrative leave.
In less than an hour, the polls will open for the Texas primary runoff election. Voters will decide a number of races, including who will run as a Democratic candidate for Bexar County judge. State Representative Ina Minhades is going head-to-head with former District Court Judge Peter Sakai. The winner will take on former County Commissioner Trish DeBerry. Now, the polls will be open from 7 to 7 today. Right now on our website, you can check out the full ballot and look for runoff races.
6:07 right now. In a major step forward to protect children from COVID-19, Pfizer just announced its 3-dose vaccine is strong and effective against the virus for children younger than 5 years old. It comes as new COVID-19 cases are up, daily infections quadrupling since the start of April. Here's ABC's Em Nguyen.
Good morning. This week marks the 7th week in a row of increasing COVID-19 cases in the U.S. Pediatric cases are no exception.
This morning, parents anxious to vaccinate their babies and preschoolers may not have to wait much longer. Good girl. Pfizer says for children under 5, its 3-shot vaccine is 80% effective against symptomatic COVID-19. It's also just a tenth of the dose for those 12 and older.
That'll be up to the FDA in June to determine if this antibody response is sufficient enough to protect against severe illness and hospitalization.
On top of reviewing Pfizer's vaccine for America's youngest in mid-June, the FDA is also considering Moderna's vaccine for children under 6 years old. For now, Moderna is still testing a 3rd shot after data shows 2 shots for kids under 6 had an efficacy of just 51% or less. It comes as nearly every state is seeing a rise in new infections and hospitalizations. For children, more than 107,000 tested positive for COVID last week, the highest since February.
Parents could see shots in arms for kids under 5 as soon as the end of June if the CDC and FDA sign off. Now, the CDC is again recommending everyone wear masks indoors. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Topping your morning consumer headlines, economists still uncertain about where the U.S. economy is headed. At a panel at the World Economic Forum, several experts pointed to conflicting factors like inflation, the war in Ukraine, a strong job market, and many U.S. households still sitting on strong savings.
More Americans are keeping their cars longer. The average age for a car on the road, just over 12 years. It is the 5th straight year that's gone up, according to research firm S&P Global Mobility. Experts say quality has been improving and high prices lately have chased away would-be buyers.
Without a doubt. The company behind Facebook and Instagram now says they'll be more transparent about how advertisers target people on their platforms. That information will start going in July as this year's political season heats up.
Speaking of Instagram, the social media platform's branding is getting a new look. It is slightly tweaked. New logo and typeface are supposed to help create, quote, more immersive, inclusive experiences. Users can choose from several different fonts.
TikTok launching a new program this week that will allow creators to generate recurring revenue. Viewers can pay to subscribe to specific live streams, similar to how it's done on rival sites like Twitch. Fans will have access to subscriber-only chats, custom emojis, badges, and other perks. Right now, 6:10, about 72 degrees.
And coming up on GMSA a little later, 4 children removed from an apartment on the city's northeast side after investigators discovered the horrendous living conditions the kids had been living in. We're going to take you inside that home.
Also still to come on GMSA, Memorial Day, less than a week away. We're going to show you how you can help a nonprofit group honor our veterans.
Also just ahead, we're going to have the latest from the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial and what will happen next.
And outside with live cam, Mother Nature not really cooperating in the last 24 hours, but we're going to try again today. Justin has an update on your local forecast. Welcome back. Just about 6:15.
And at last look at those TransGuide cameras, things looked okay. Let's go ahead and check back with Steven Cavazos.
Yeah, it's been an okay morning, I would say, for a Tuesday. We are not complaining, but we still have this issue, I-37 at Salado Creek. It's a stalled vehicle. Now, that's been reported for a little while now, but we're not detecting which lanes of traffic that's in. TxDOT has not reported that as of yet, but we're going to have to watch that area closely. Thankfully, not seeing a slowdown there, but let's take a drive around town. 281 at Basse, that camera's still out. You can see, we know the sun's not fully out yet, but there at 35 at New Braunfels, things look just fine. But let's go ahead and take you right to the map because we do have a new stall to talk about here off of Loop 410 westbound right there at Babcock. Keep in mind, it's not far from where we saw the earlier stall there at Callahan, but that was in the eastbound lanes. This one in the westbound. So drivers, watch out there. But let's get that wide view of the metro area now at 6:15. You can see, thankfully, just a lot of green. And make sure you plan your commute because we still have some column work that's taking place. We told you about this yesterday off Loop 410 over on the west side of San Antonio. That's still current, but should be wrapping up on Monday, June 6th, so we still have some ways to go. But make sure, if you travel overnight or early in the morning, that will be from 8 in the evening to 5 in the morning, and that's when you can expect those alternating full closures in both directions right there at the Culebra Road intersection. Now it's that favorite time. Grab those phones and open up your camera app and make sure to scan that QR code. That will take you directly to the KSAT traffic page, and as a reminder, that will have the latest closures that are taking place in your area. Don't forget to scroll to the bottom of the screen. That's where you'll find that updated list. Justin.
Thank you, sir. A little bit of history for you today. The anniversary, sadly, of the 2015 flood. If you remember that, around Wimberley, the Blanco River, wall of water came through the hill country. It's that time of year where we have to worry about some flash flooding. A lot of times we get storms this time of year. We did not see that overnight, but the 2015, just a reminder of what we can experience around here this time of year. And there are more chances of storms as we get into tonight. Right now, starting to see a little bit of light out there. 72 degrees at the airport. Dew point is at 69. We've got a southeasterly wind at about 9 miles per hour. Just a few thin high clouds. As it stands right now, the radar is not giving us much. We didn't see the storms overnight. We had a couple of showers work through a little bit earlier, but everything for the most part has been to our south. That's where the bulk of the heavy rain has been. You go down into the valley, you will find some pretty good showers and storms at this hour, but that's where it will stay for the morning hours. So we're going to turn our attention to the north, and that is where our next chance of rain will come from. 72 degrees right now, 71 in New Braunfels, 68 Kerrville. For the most part, low 70s here in San Antonio this morning. Not a bad morning. We're seeing, again, just a few clouds here and there. There are those storms down to the south that we just showed you. And then as we look north, storms gathering along a cold front across North Texas. This is what's going to shift south today and give us our rain chance. Right now, some pretty good storms stretching from Lubbock over to Wichita Falls. Here's how the forecast plays out. As this shifts south, you'll see storms start to develop along the front. For us, just some isolated stuff into the afternoon. This is 5 o'clock today, 30% chance of rain. That front gets a little bit closer by 10 o'clock. Storms start to pull into the hill country. This is a time period where we could see some severe weather and some heavy rain right along the front. Still just a 30% chance of rain here in San Antonio. But by the overnight hours, we're going to bump it up to a 70% chance. Storms will focus along this front. And you can see that this model is showing some areas of pretty heavy rain going into tomorrow morning. 7 o'clock, still some lingering showers and storms, but by midday this is moving out, and by the afternoon skies are clearing and we're done with these storms for the foreseeable future. So storm threats today, wind gusts are going to be our highest threat. Like yesterday, that was our concern. Hail will be there, it's a moderate threat, and then flooding. And flooding's low, tornado is low. I will say with flooding, though, there could be some localized spots where we get some street flooding depending on where the heaviest of the rain sets up. We're still thinking 1 to 3 inches with these storms overnight tonight. The heaviest of the rain will be to our north and east. Then it tapers off as you go south and west. Lower totals south and west of San Antonio. 20% chance of rain at 8 o'clock. We'll go 74 at 10 o'clock, 20% chance of rain. 30% chance as we get into the afternoon. Just isolated stuff. 86 by 5 o'clock, 84 by 6 p.m. And then tonight there's your 70% chance of rain with severe storms possible. After that, we really do dry out and temperatures warm up. 88 degrees Thursday, 91 Friday, mid-90s this weekend. So this rainfall tonight will be very important because after this we hit another dry, hot stretch. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. We now go to the latest on the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial.
The big news from court involves something that did not happen as expected yesterday.
True. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the story.
This morning, a strategy shift from Amber Heard's legal team in the $50 million defamation lawsuit brought by her ex-husband, Johnny Depp. The lawsuit stems from an essay in which Heard claimed to be the victim of abuse. Depp's name appeared on the witness list Monday, but in the end, Heard's defense team decided not to call him to the stand.
Calling Johnny Depp in Amber's case would have been a bad choice. There's really nothing he could say that would help her. But Johnny's side can call him as a witness, so I anticipate we'll see him.
Also set to take the stand this week, supermodel Kate Moss. She dated Depp in the 90s and is expected to testify tomorrow in defense of Depp after Heard claimed he once tried to push Moss down a flight of stairs.
Johnny says that never happened and is apparently bringing in Kate Moss as a witness on Wednesday to testify that there was no incident.
With the trial nearing its conclusion, legal analysts say Heard's defense is facing substantial challenges.
There's a lot of inconsistency with Amber's statements. They just don't add up or make a lot of common sense to me. The jury's going to have to determine in this he said, she said dispute what happened, but the evidence, it just does not add up in my mind.
More witnesses took the stand in Heard's defense yesterday, including a surgeon who cast doubt on Depp's claim about how his finger was severed during a fight between the couple. But in the court of public opinion, observers say it appears Heard may have already lost. The actress has faced widespread backlash on social media.
It's Johnny's allegation that Amber has lied about her claims of abuse and has actually used the Me Too movement to get support for these false claims. So if true, she's done tremendous damage to that movement. But we're also seeing that we have to balance the need to protect the victim versus the need of due process for the accused.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
621, about 71 degrees.
And things are starting to get really interesting in the NBA playoffs. The Heat and Celtics have evened up the Eastern Conference Finals. Just ahead on GMSA, a recap of Game 4 in Boston.
What can I do with less asthma? With Dupixent, I can do more. Catching my train. Making moves. Making a connection. Oh, a train connection. That's how you do more with Dupixent, which helps prevent asthma attacks. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that can improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks, and can reduce or even eliminate oral steroids. And here's something important. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Are you ready to do more with less asthma? Just ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
6:25, the NBA playoff Eastern Conference Finals, now a best-of-3 series. The Heat visiting the Celtics last night in Game 4. Boston started off red hot, outscoring Miami 29-11 in the first quarter, and that would set the tone for the rest of the night. Celtics win this one, and it wasn't even close. Final from TD Garden, Boston 102, Miami 82. The series is now all evened up at 2 apiece. Game 5 will tip off tomorrow night, 7:30 in Miami. Meanwhile, an elimination game tonight over in the West. The Golden State Warriors lead the Mavs 3-0. They'll have a chance to put the Mavs away tonight and punch their ticket to the NBA Finals. Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals tips off tonight at 8 o'clock up in Dallas.
It's going to be tough for the Mavs.
Yes, it is. They're in a hole.
Yeah, they are. Time now, 6:25 and 71 degrees for now. We have much more to come on GMSA, including the disturbing details and a discovery made at a northeast side apartment complex. We're going to tell you why 4 kids were removed from that apartment.
And a man on the southwest side shot in the leg overnight while he was standing in his front yard. We'll have the latest on his condition.
And a quick look at the roads with TransGuide. Looking there at Highway 281 at Divine Road. Things looking good also at Loop 1604 and Petrenko Road. We'll be right back. Growing concern this morning about the rare outbreak of monkeypox, cases being reported in several states.
Outside with live cam this morning, a beautiful streak of clouds right there being caught in the morning sunrise. It's okay to be a little frustrated with Mother Nature right now, and Justin will jump into the conversation momentarily. Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, May 24th.
Thanks for joining us. I hope you got some rain yesterday, but if not, we get one more shot.
Yeah, one more good chance, not for the rest of the summer, but it kind of seems like it. Justin's here with more on that.
Yeah, it feels like Memorial Day is kind of our cutoff, right? Like we need the rain before then. Yesterday just did not materialize, at least last night. We didn't see the big storms out west. There was some rain yesterday, some good numbers in spots, not necessarily here in San Antonio. All the rain this morning as well south of us. You'll notice things are quiet here around town right now. We are detecting still some lightning strikes down around Corpus Christi and down into the valley. As we look at rain chances, they come back up again tonight. We have another opportunity, and this is going to be focused along the fronts. We have something a little more concrete to work with. Yesterday's pattern was just messy, and we saw some showers early, kind of threw everything off. But as we get into tonight, there's our good chances. We'll still see some showers and storms into tomorrow morning's commute as well. After that, the rain goes away. And we say goodbye to these cooler temperatures, too. The heat cranks up as we get into the weekend. So let's plan out your forecast here. 20% chance, 8 o'clock this morning. By noontime, we're at 80 degrees, 20% chance of rain. Really, rain chances are low through much of today. If we do see a storm, there is the threat for a severe weather, but the chances of that happening are pretty low. 86 your high temperature. Tonight, though, much better chances of rain as we showed you. Storms potentially on the strong side. We'll explain all of it, time it out for you once again coming up here in just a couple minutes. But with the dry roads, hopefully we're not having any issues with that morning commute, Stephen.
No, it's been pretty decent so far, Justin. Let's get a look at the roadways right now. Thank you. 281 at Divine. You can see that's what it's looking like. Divine traffic. Let's go ahead and bring it in there with the camera and drive around town. 1604 Petrenko. Traffic moving, and as Justin mentioned, wow, it's 410 at McCullough. That's a pretty shot there. We have not seen any issues out on the roads just yet. You know, dry commute should mean some safe roads, but we always want our drivers to stay alert as they get their morning started. Let's go ahead and take you right here to 410 because we have a stall that we talked about there in the westbound lanes of Babcock. It hasn't been causing any problems, but being reported for a little while now. So just make sure to move over or slow down anytime you see those flashing lights. Let's get a wide look of the metro area at 632. Thankfully, we are green, and that is all we are seeing. So just, again, you're essentially going to have the roads to yourself, but as you just saw on those TransGuide cameras, it is looking a little bit busy. So just remember to drive safe. Thankfully, no need to rush to the downtown San Antonio area if that is your destination. But again, for our friends up in Bulverde, a 28-minute drive time in those southbound lanes, but that is due to the usual construction. So one last drive around town back here at 281 at St. Mary's. Things are looking okay so far. We'll have more updates coming up a little bit later on, guys.
Thank you, Stephen. Back to this morning's late breaking news. The workday hasn't even begun for a lot of people. However, 2 criminals have already pulled off a job that involved robbing and cutting 2 other people.
The attack happened at a home on the west side in the 3800 block of Morales. Katrina Weber's there live. Katrina, have police found any trace of the criminals?
No, and they searched this area pretty thoroughly. Now, at the time when we spoke with them, they had only a vague description of those two men. Officers did fan out in this neighborhood right after the attack, which happened just before 5 this morning. They say that two men jumped the backyard fence to a home at the corner of Morales and Northwest 26th Street, then cut and robbed two other men. One victim was wounded on his hand. The other suffered cuts on his arm, the back of his neck, and possibly his upper body. Both of them were rushed to a hospital with non-life-threatening wounds. The police say those cuttings happened during a robbery, but they were not able to tell us what, if anything, was taken from the victims. Reporting live on the west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Right now, cleanup underway after a fire at this upholstery shop on the city's north side. This video from the scene on Blanca Road, not far from Bassey. Crews had to force their way inside to get the flames knocked down. Well, there's not much fire damage. There's heavy smoke damage. It's still unclear what sparked that blaze.
Also new this morning, one man is in the hospital after a separate shooting on the city's southwest side. This one happened around 12:30 this morning at a home on Five Palms Drive, not far from Old Pearsall Road and Loop 410. That's where police say a man in his 20s was standing in his front yard when someone driving by in a white sedan shot him in the leg. That man is now in the hospital, expected to recover. Police are still looking for that shooter.
Well, this morning, 4 kids are in the care of Child Protective Services after investigators discovered horrendous living conditions they'd been living in. We want to warn you, some viewers may find this story very disturbing. Yesterday, Bexar County Sheriff's deputies arrived at an apartment on Montgomery Drive, not far from Walsham, for a report of a foul smell. Deputies say they were expecting to find a dead body inside. What they found instead, a lot of trash bags filled with old food, insects, live rats, and feces throughout the entire apartment. The 2 adults living there, Danielle and Paul Kinsey, were taken into custody, each facing 4 counts of endangering 4 children. We have more details posted right now on our website. Just look for this story on our website at KSAT.com.
And now to the growing concern about the rare outbreak of monkeypox. Suspected and confirmed cases are now being reported in at least 5 states. And this morning, one expert says the outbreak could be linked to sexual activity at 2 parties held in Europe. ABC's M. Nguyen has the details.
Doctors in Washington state are the latest to announce they're treating a patient with a suspected case of monkeypox, bringing the number of states investigating cases to 5. There's one confirmed case in Massachusetts, and overnight, health officials near Seattle announced the country's 6th presumptive case, a man who recently traveled to a country where monkeypox cases have been identified. In South Florida, doctors are investigating 2 presumptive cases. Both patients also recently traveled internationally.
The people who are in contact with that person, know about it.
The virus, typically only seen in Africa, is spreading with more than 200 confirmed or suspected cases in 18 countries. Doctors say it's spread by coming into close contact with lesions, bodily fluid, or respiratory droplets. The flu-like symptoms lead to rashes on the body with a recovery time of 2 to 3 weeks. The CDC is raising awareness in the LGBTQ+ community because many of the cases worldwide involve men identifying as gay or bisexual. An advisor to the World Health Organization tells the Associated Press the leading theory to explain the outbreak is sexual transmission at rave parties in Spain and Belgium.
I don't think that there's a great risk to the general community from monkeypox right now in the United States. I think that we need to pay close attention to the communities in which this might be circulating.
The U.S. government is now releasing some monkeypox vaccines from the national stockpile. The CDC says those vaccines will be for a small number of people who have been exposed. It says there is no need to vaccinate the general public.
M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
New coronavirus concerns this morning as daily cases are on the rise. A local infectious disease expert again reminding the public it's not time to let your guard down. Dr. Barbara Taylor, an associate professor of infectious diseases for UT Health San Antonio, says while the number of hospitalizations may appear low, things could change in the coming weeks. That's why she says it's so important to protect yourself with vaccinations, washing your hands thoroughly, and wearing a mask. It's especially important as we look towards Memorial Day weekend.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Zac Brown band member John Driscoll Hopkins revealed he had been diagnosed with ALS in a video with his bandmates. That story's coming up at 7 a.m. right here on KSAT 12.
Governor Greg Abbott visiting the border town of Eagle Pass yesterday, same day as proposed end of Title 42. After the tour, he talked about the state's border security strategies along the Rio Grande. People in the area say they're still very concerned about security in rural areas.
And they're crossing, walking, so big groups of more than 100 people have been seen. The thing that concerns me is small kids.
Governor Abbott says the state continues to surge resources, including razor wire, to border communities building stronger barriers to deter illegal crossings. He also says Texas continues to work alongside law enforcement partners in Mexico.
And as we mentioned, that visit came the same day that President Biden wanted to end Title 42, an immigration restriction provision that has been used to expel migrants. The federal judge is keeping it as the Justice Department tries to appeal that ruling. The help provision means asylum seekers can be turned away using COVID and public health as justification. KSAT Explains took a closer look at the topic, and you can learn more about it on our website at ksat.com.
Today's the day is the Texas primary runoffs for candidates who failed to win the majority back in March. Voters will choose either the Democratic or Republican ballots to ultimately determine which will get the party's nomination for the November general election. Ballots will include federal, state, and county races. Polls will be open from 7 to 7 today and this evening. We have a list of polling locations on KSAT.com.
And San Antonio is Military City, USA, so it's a tradition many here are familiar with, seeing rows of U.S. flags placed at Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery for Memorial Day.
Now, the pandemic put that tradition on pause, but now one nonprofit is hoping to carry it on. That group, called Flags for Fallen Vets, it began in North Texas back in 2012, is now helping 11 national cemeteries with this Memorial Day tradition.
This year will be the first time the group helps Military City, USA at Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery. They already have 3,000 volunteers signed up.
Each volunteer will get 40 flags to place. First year, with everybody being new, it'll probably take about 3 hours.
So the spots have already been filled, but there's still a need for volunteers to pick up flags. The group still needs about 200 volunteers.
They are also in need of woolen pallets to help dry the flags. If you would like to sign up to help, you can visit flagsforfallenvets.com, and you can also help by making a donation online.
640, about 71 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA, we're going to have some clever ways to help pay off your student loan debt.
Good morning. Welcome back. 644. Student loan debt in the U.S. totals more than $1.7 trillion.
And the average student walks away from college with a diploma and $40,000 of debt.
Ursula Perry has some simple ways to pay down your debt faster.
If you're drowning in student loans, you're not alone. 43 million people in the U.S. have student loan debt. That's 1 in 8 Americans.
Close to the $50,000 mark.
I'd probably have like $40,000 right now.
I think the worst part of having student loans is just the anxiety or the fear of not being able to pay them off.
The good news is there is help. First, look into grants. The Forget Your Student Debt Grant is open to anyone with student debt and pays $10,000. Other grants are available to specific professionals like teachers, lawyers, veterans, nurses, and social workers. Or you can search for free grants at govloans.gov or in professional association websites. States also have their own grants and assistance programs. So ask your employer about repayment assistance. Some companies offer these programs as benefits to their employees. Also, you can apply for income-driven repayment plans. If you qualify, you may receive forgiveness on remaining loan amounts. You might also want to consider pursuing a public service loan forgiveness program, which forgives loan balances after you've made a certain number of payments while working for an eligible employer.
Also, last month, the U.S. Department of Education extended the pandemic-related pause on student loans. That means payments were suspended at 0% interest. A pretty good deal for all involved. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
Now 6:46.
And at last look at the TransSky cameras, well, the sun's up, but things are still looking okay on the roadways.
It's been a fair morning so far. Let's get a look there. There is a cord at I-35 and Loop 410, but not really causing any issues with traffic as we can get a look around town. There's 37 at Houston. Things have been off to a pretty great start for this morning, but we just want to make sure drivers are aware there's been a few stalled vehicles to talk about. So let's go ahead and take you right to the map, because the latest one we're adding to that list is here off I-35 northbound there at Weedner, close to the northeast side of San Antonio. So drivers, watch out if you're traveling in these northbound lanes. But let's take a drive over here, I-10 in those eastbound lanes. If you're heading downtown, right in those eastbound lanes, you're going to see a stalled vehicle near Loop 1604. Not causing issues for drivers just yet, but the morning is still young. But we're now in that hour where people will get out on the roadways. Let's go ahead and get a view of the metro area at 646. The usual slowdown, as I just saw there, off 1604 on the northwest side, as well as State Highway 151. Some of those construction zones, we're starting to see the crews arrive to get the work done. So just make sure to give them plenty of room and also give them a break. But one last drive here around town. Things look just fine so far. But Justin, how's the weather going to be?
Well, it's quiet for now, obviously, and we're expecting some showers and some isolated stuff this afternoon and better chances tonight. I want to take you back in history real quick. We mentioned this last half hour, but this is the anniversary of the 2015 Blanco River flood. You remember this? It was such a tragic event. The Blanco River crested at 44.9 feet. That's like 10 feet above the record. Did so much damage. 10 to 13 inches of rainfall caused the Blanco River to flood. Sadly, we did lose some lives in this event, and it was just one that we won't soon forget. And a good reminder that this time of year, we can see those heavy rains that can cause quick flash flooding around here. Now, obviously, it's been pretty dry, but we do have a chance for some pretty heavy rain tonight, at least in spots. I want to show you the rainfall from yesterday. There were some good numbers down in places like southwestern Dimmitt County, estimates of 6 to 7 inches, and then places like northeastern Karnes County, about 2 to 3 inches. Otherwise, the numbers weren't all that impressive. About 1/10 of an inch in Lytle, at the airport officially just 100th of an inch. That's it. We need more than that. And we do, again, have those chances coming up tonight. Here's a look at the time lapse. Some light showers yesterday evening, and then overnight, those storms that we were expecting to develop out west just did not materialize. And now we're just left with partly cloudy skies out there. 72 degrees right now. Dew point is at 69, and southeasterly winds at about 9 miles per hour. 71 in New Braunfels, 68 Kerrville, 68 in Uvalde, and locally here 69 Helotes, 72 in Castroville, 68 if you're watching us from Bandera this morning with some cloud cover there. The radar and satellite shows the bulk of the heavy rain this morning is down in the valley. Still looking at some pretty robust storms here working their way towards McGowan and Harlingen at this hour, and those will continue to push east. Further north, this is what we're going to watch throughout the afternoon. This area of storms right here, this is along a cold front, and that cold front will slide south today. It's along that front that we're expecting severe weather. Large area here in Texas under the gun for scattered severe storms. It stretches from Lubbock, Abilene, Dallas down towards the hill country. And I think even going into tonight, that risk will probably shift a little bit further south with this front. Throughout the day, we're going to keep it a 30% chance of a shower or storm. If we do get a storm to develop, there's a threat there that it could be strong to severe. I just don't think the coverage is going to be all that great today. But as that front comes in tonight, you'll see a line of showers and storms, some of which could be strong and some of which will produce some heavy rain. Still a 30% chance of rain at 10 o'clock. But overnight, midnight, through I'd say about 5, 6 a.m., we have some good chances of rain here. This is our shot. We need this to come through, and it's looking promising with the front. Showers and storms through about 7 o'clock, and then this will start to push east, and we'll get some clearing tomorrow afternoon. Still some slight chances through about midday, but by the afternoon, everything clears out, and then from there, we move into a dry forecast. We're still thinking 1 to 3 inches of rain with those heavier pockets, especially north and east of San Antonio. As you go south and west, we'll have lower rainfall totals. And looking at the KSAT 12-hour forecast, just a 20% chance of rain today, 30% chance by 1 o'clock, and we top out close to 86 this afternoon with a 30% chance of rain. Tonight, though, we take it up to a 70% chance. Again, some severe storms will be possible as that front comes through. After tomorrow, though, rain chances are gone. 79 degrees, cooler tomorrow. 59 Thursday morning, which sounds great. But after that, 88 Thursday, 91 Friday. We're back in the mid-90s by Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day at this point looks dry, hot. Temperatures in the mid-90s, guys.
Back to the 90s.
Back to the 90s.
All right, thanks, Justin.
Ted Till, about 71 degrees.
And tomorrow on GMSA, our Great Graduate Series continues with a young woman from Bernie High School. We're going to tell you about the adversity she overcame to be successful.
Outside with live cam. Checking on that sunrise. Lots of clouds out there. San Antonio is up with GMSA. We'll be right back.
And a reminder, today is the Texas primary runoff election for candidates who failed to win by majority in March. And the polls will open in just a few minutes. Now they're going to be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We're going to have more information over on our website at ksat.com.
Well, coming up on GMSA at 9, we're highlighting a recent college graduate and local elementary school teacher.
Also at 9, I'll share the story of a 4th grade teacher who was inspired by her kindergarten teacher, and now she's our Educator of the Month.
Plus, Sarah Cosa introduces us to a young woman who became a voice for students on our college campus. Those stories and much more today on GMSA at 9.
And let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos, see how those roads are looking.
Tuesday traffic's moving just fine, but within the last few moments, there were a few things that popped up on TransGuide that we'll have to look closer at. For instance, here at 410 at Evers, nothing's been reported yet by TxDOT, but we are seeing some heavy traffic in that area. Taking you here to the map. Now, we did talk about this stall in the northbound lanes of I-35, but our map picking it up as a crash, and you can see those southbound lanes is where we are seeing a slowdown. So watch out there. Let's take a drive over here to 1604 in the I-10 eastbound. We have that stalled vehicle that's still there. Travel times right now almost green across the board, but something unusual, a 37-minute drive time heading in those northbound lanes coming in from Flotusville and I-37. We'll find out what's going on there, but seeing the usual slowdowns there, 28 minutes on 281 southbound. Justin?
Thank you, sir. A quiet morning. Not seeing a lot on the radar this morning. We have some chances throughout the day, small chances, 30% through 5 o'clock, but our rain chances do pick up overnight tonight, about a 70% chance of some storms tonight, some of which could be strong, some of which may produce some heavy rain. That's kind of our last chance here, because after tonight, rain chances pretty much cut off. 59 to start Thursday, but then the temperatures really warm up. 88 Thursday, 91 Friday, mid-90s this weekend. And again, we'll keep you posted today should any of these storms blossom tonight, guys.
We'll see how it goes.
Yes.
Hopefully it works out.
Hopefully.
Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you back here at 9.
Have a terrific Tuesday. Good Morning America is next.